Good morning, students and parents. We welcome you all to Victoria Institute of Technology's Open Day. And firstly, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognize their continuing connection to land, water, and culture. We pay our respects to their elders past, present, and emerging. We thank you all for being here, and it's my great pleasure to invite you all to VIT's first Open Day, both campus and virtual. So that also indicates the challenging times we are all going through. And we first wish that all of you are staying safe, and we like to see all of you on the side of the COVID-19. I'd also like to welcome your children and the students back in the campuses as a well-managed, hygienic campus. And we are also proud to say that Australia and New Zealand have done extremely well in going through the COVID-19 crisis and flattening the curve and being a very safe and creating a very safe and healthy environment for the people living here. And as part of VIT, the journey started in 1991, and we started in 1998, we established VIT. The 1991 is as a business entrepreneur in IT, consulting, and training of the clients in IT. In 1998, we wanted to do, which is much more meaningful. So we started the Victorian Institute of Technology, then VIT, Victorian Institute of Information Technology, mainly training IT professionals with an industry focus. So since then, since the day one, our value system has been that the students first, with integrity, or all our dealings with the students should be having integrity and teamwork and ownership, innovative and simplicity and quality focus. Our mission from day one has been to provide people with high quality education and training, giving them life transforming knowledge and skills, and all that at an affordable price. At VIT, we are uniquely positioned. We are not too small to fail and not too big to be indifferent to the students' needs. So that's where we make a big difference, and we are fortunate that we have a strong team of 200 professionals working with VIT across Melbourne, Sydney, Adelaide, Geelong, and in some of the offshore offices supporting our operations. So we have students from across 64 countries. We have grown from a very small student strength of single digit to 3,500 students currently studying in various locations. And we are able to seamlessly transform from face-to-face to online education, supported by a very talented infrastructure and technical team and academic teams and admin teams. And we also pride not only in our lecturing academic staff, but the strength of our technical team, and also the core strength of VIT is our actual student support services. VIT is one of the few organizations which has actually established a dean who is also our currently executive dean for student experience. That indicates how seriously VIT considers the student experience. The student experience begins right from the inquiry all the way through till graduation and remaining as alumni of VIT. So the student success matter to us. It's at the core of DNA to manage and maintain the student experience and well-being at VIT, whether it is academic, physical, social, mental health. It is our core philosophy that the student should be at the center of our universe at VIT. We thank you very much for participating in this Open Day, and we wish you all the best, and we look forward to seeing you at VIT. Before I close, I'd like to pass the next speaker will be Honorable David Bartlett, Chair of Engagement and Industry Committee at VIT. Honorable David Bartlett was the former Premier of Tasmania, and is also current council member at VIT. Thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you all at VIT. Thank you.
G'day, my name's David Bartlett, and I'm an IT graduate. 30 years ago, or thereabouts, I graduated from university with a Bachelor of Information Technology. And I'm extraordinarily grateful for having done that degree, because it has given me extraordinary opportunities to work in all sorts of areas and to pursue many of the things that I most love. I like to say I'm 9 years into my third career. My first career was very much in the tech sector, telecommunications, eventually becoming Chief Information Officer for the Department of Health and Human Services, and then on to working in industry development with a whole range of science and tech-based companies. I then had a 10-year career in politics, having been Minister for Education and Skills, and eventually Premier of the great state of Tasmania, and eventually deciding that 10 years in politics was enough. I'm now 9 years into what I'd say my third career, a more technology-based career again, where I'm working with a number of startup tech companies and more established tech companies in what is, I think, probably the most exciting time in technology and information technology in my lifetime. So it's a great pleasure to have joined in the last 6 months the Governing Council of the Victorian Institute of Technology. It's a really exciting time, I think, not only in technology, but also for potential graduates of the Victorian Institute. Graduating with a Bachelor of Information Technology or a Masters of Information Technology or another technology-based degree, in Australia at the moment, there could not be a better time. Certainly, over the last 5-10 years, we've seen extraordinary wealth and growth driven by technologies that have allowed companies to reach new markets, to create new business models, to support a whole range of new innovation and disruption in traditional industry sectors. And of course, what we're going to see post-COVID is not only those technologies being used to reach new markets, to build new markets, new products, spectacular innovation, but that technology is going to become deep at the heart of the operations of every company and every government and non-government sector organisation. In fact, without technology at the heart, it's become very clear that companies just won't survive in this new environment. So, at the Victorian Institute of Technology, we're really excited about what's going to be a really interesting, sometimes challenging future that will drive spectacular innovation across all our traditional industry sectors in Australia and across the globe, but also we'll see, I think, for the most extraordinary demand for technology skills that we've probably seen since the dot-com boom of the 1990s. This is a great career to be embarking on. The thing that I've been most impressed with over the last 6 months of working with the Victorian Institute of Technology, both on the Governing Council, but also as chair of the Institute's Industry Engagement Committee, is how aligned the teaching and learning, the student activities, and indeed the whole faculty and staff of the Institute are to industry needs. I've observed that curriculum is very much aligned with modern technology needs and not stuck in some theoretical past. I've observed that students at the Institute get a really enriched real-life industry experience, massively improving their potential employability and employment outcomes. And I've seen an institute that's really dedicated to delivering the sorts of skills, qualifications, curriculum for Australian technology graduates or technology graduates in Australia that industry, both in the traditional sectors and in the tech sector, most need. I'm really excited about this and the future that is coming down the track with such need in our economy for technology skills. One of the things we're really focused on at the Institute This year and in coming years, we'll be providing our students with a real-life industry experience through an industry placement program. To do this, of course, we need great industry partners, and we've got some, but we want more. Industry partners not just in the technology sector, of course, where our graduates can make a really significant contribution, and perhaps industry sector bodies, companies are looking for new skills and will be. It's a great way to get involved with the institute and with the graduates in an industry placement, to test them out, to try them out, and to give them some real world experience. But not just in the tech sector, also in traditional industry sectors and government and the non-government sector as well, where there is now, post-COVID, an extraordinary increase in need for skills in networking, in remote working, and in all of the underpinning technologies that are going to become critical for this. So if you're in industry, no matter what sector, we want to work with you. We're looking forward to expanding our network of industry partners that can provide meaningful industry placements as part of the Masters and Bachelors and other programs that the Victorian Institute of Technology run. We think this is not only great for our students, but we think it's great for industry too, and great for our industry partners. There's never been a more exciting time while our economy and our communities and our industry sectors face really significant challenges going forward post-COVID. We know that at the heart of the solutions to those challenges are skilled technologists, graduates of the Victorian Institute of Technology. We're looking forward to working with you.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all the parents and students joining us from all around the world. I'm Professor Sid Nair, the Executive Dean. Is the student experience that great at VIT? Well, the student experience starts from the time you contact us. All right, from the time you contact us to the time you go through our courses, and then you graduate, and then you're part of alumni. Now, let me think about what the student experience is all about. You contacted us. Are we friendly? Did we give you the information? Were you happy with that information? Then there's admissions. Were you able to get all your answers actually answered? If that was the case, great. That's a great student experience. Then there's orientation. We want you to come to the orientation, get to know more about the unit itself, the courses, about the policies, the process, take a tour of the campus. That's what orientation is all about, and meet your classmates. Then you got to look at the most important dimension, I think, of student experience, teaching. Are we great in our teaching? As our CEO said, we have a very strong academic staff here. The staff actually engage with you. One of the key things in teaching is that academics must be engaged with you. This happens at VIT. We are only about 3,000 students as such, in which means you are very important in this equation. We spend lots of time with the individual student. We consult with the student. You have the ability to come in, talk to the lecturer, meet the lecturer. If you compare this to a bigger institution, you hardly see your academic, your lecturer itself. All right. What about the learning that's taking place? You have a responsibility. And the way that works is simple. We've got a blended way of actually presenting our classes. Our blended way includes a digital presence, which means you're not only actually having your classes streamed at times, you've got an engaged activity online. Then you've got a face-to-face component. You come in and you also attend lectures. You do the labs. On top of that, we've got what's known as pastoral care. What's pastoral care? We've got counselors on both campuses on Sydney and Melbourne. Let me give you a very good example on why we have the strength in pastoral care. During the recent COVID-19, our counselors contacted all our students, and our primary aim was to find out how you were doing. We were all at home, but we needed to make sure our students were actually doing exceptionally well. If not, we were giving them help by counseling sessions or referring them to places they can actually get some help as such. So, what do you want when you come to VIT? There must be a question that you're asking, why would you come when you come to VIT? Number one, you want excellence in teaching. Absolutely. The strength of our academics, they are well educated, all right? They have great experience in teaching. They have the ability to teach you online. They have the ability to teach you face to face. They have the ability to meet with you. But you play an important part in this, and that equation is simple. You need to start learning as well. And the next point is that we got a very strong pastoral support. That pastoral support is our counselors. The strength of our counselors is primarily they look after you, and they will talk to you at any time on any issue that you think that you want to have a confidential discussion with. The next one you have, if a student experience, the ability to improve your language. You can come in and actually improve your English language if you wanted to. There are facilities that are available for this. But overall, we have the ability to develop the skills to improve employability. It's our strength to deliver units that are actually in demand in the Australian sector and globally as such. So if I were you, I would join VIT, primarily because we are not only good at the student experience, we are excellent. And I hope to see you in the corridors of VIT next year or the next following semester, all right, so that we can have a conversation on the future that you're going to take with VIT. Thank you. I now hand you over to Arun Patel, which is our Dean of Partnerships and Engagement.
Thank you, Professor Nair. Welcome, everyone. I'm just elaborating on some of the key aspects of student experiences which Professor Nair mentioned and also our CEO mentioned. So at VIT, we provide best classroom experience to each and every student through various learning management systems, for example Moodle, as well as advanced digital learning technology tools such as Zoom and Teams. For example, during COVID crisis at VIT, we immediately transformed our face-to-face teaching into engaged digital delivery teaching mode successfully. And we made sure that we provide our students with highly engaged learning opportunities. Students enjoy that, even in spite of the challenges, but the most important part for students is more flexible, it is convenient, and they collaborate, they communicate, they connect with their peers as well as with their facilitators. I think this is most important part in challenges. The second thing very important for each and every student at VIT is how VIT has industry engagement. Okay, so we are committed to holistic industry engagement approach right from day one of the establishment of VIT, and we have witnessed that. We have industry exposure through work integrated learning component which is embedded in our curriculum. Not necessarily students at the last phase of their learning journey, but we start it right from the beginning, from week one. And we do this with structured or systematic internships as well as industry projects. Now what happens because of these projects, every international student, for example, coming to Australia, they are really starving for industry exposure. They are really looking forward for a real Australian industry experience. Now we provide that through structured internships and industry projects. Because of this, students have opportunity to gain a lot of hands-on experience while working with industry stakeholders on real world industry projects. Now, again, what happens because of this experience, students, they already gain work ready skills which every university, every institution is aiming for. And because of that, students are ready and to face and go into the job market. Now, this is being witnessed, some of our students, while they're working on their industry projects, they have been offered some job opportunities. For industries, it is like a mutual, it's like try before you buy. So when students doing their projects with the industry experts or industry stakeholders, they see students' skills and they know what students can contribute to their own organization. So our students are ready to face and accept the challenges in job markets, not only in Australia, but internationally. And they are already gaining those successes. Okay. So if you come to VIT, I'm sure you will be part of this wonderful journey. You will be part of our best industry engagement component, and you will enjoy that. And at that same time, you will also gain relevant work-ready skills, which will able to help you to work anywhere in challenging situation. So thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you all at VIT. Now the next video will give you a lot of glimpses of our higher education, how we offer and what facilities we provide in terms of our higher education at VIT. Thank you.
My name is JESETTE. I am originally from the Philippines. I am currently enrolled in VIT in Masters in Information Technology. Australia is very open to international students, very diverse culture. It's known globally to be one of those countries who provide international students with high standards of learning.
My name is Kushal Podel. I'm from Nepal. I choose VIT because the program they are offering is what I'm looking for. They are reputed not only for classroom type of teaching, they do practical applications, they do trainings.
I'm SANTOS. I'm originally from Nepal. I'm a recent ID graduate streaming in networking. My agent, Grace International Academic, mentioned VIT about its flexible schedule and the tuition fees were affordable. So I would really recommend VIT for those students who are looking for tuition fees to be affordable while studying.
My name is Simon Tap. I came from Myanmar, the city of the Yangon, and I'm currently doing the Master of Information Technology in VIT, specialized in software engineering. The reason I chose VIT is because VIT is very close to the public transfer and really located in the center of the city. And then they also offer me the scholarship as a bonus, and that helped me a lot for my financial support.
I found VIT to be very supportive to their students. The staff are very friendly. Also, at the same time, the facilities that they have, I'm very well satisfied. They have laboratories, libraries.
Well, what I'm really impressed by VIT is the student information system, which is really assisting all the students in a daily basis.
We use an online learning management system where students retrieve all their notes from, so all lecture notes are put online. Students have access to these 24 hours a day. All student assignments and assessment is submitted online. Most of our students love studying here. We have a very dedicated staff. We have lots of young, enthusiastic lecturers. They're at the forefront of technology.
Now, we have been operating for about 20 years, and for those 20 years we have been training and teaching many corporate clients as well as individuals. We offer not only courses at a theoretical level, but we also offer internships, and we offer projects to build the students up to start learning how to research, how to do a number of things that they would normally do in the business world as IT professionals.
There's definitely a purpose why I wanted to study and pursue higher education. So I know VIT would be able to help me out with that. As early as now, I can say that the education that is being provided to us is very competitive and would really help me out all through this 2-year time that I'm here, and I can bring that and contribute a lot in my future endeavor. My name is JESETTE. I am originally from the Philippines. I am currently enrolled in VIT in Masters in Information Technology. Australia is very open to international students, very diverse culture. It's known globally to be one of those countries who provide international students with high standards of learning.
My name is Kusal Podel. I'm from Nepal. I choose VIT because the program they are offering is what I'm looking for. They are reputed not only for classroom type of teaching, they do practical applications.
My name is Paul Derbyshire, Dr. Paul Derbyshire. I'm the Associate Professor and Coordinator of the Masters in Information Technology and Systems program. Before we begin, I'd just like to introduce two other people with me on the Q&A session. We have Dr. Javed Ali Baloch and Dr. Tharka as our Registrar. Okay, so what I'd like to do just briefly before we start with the Q&A session and before the other speakers talk about their programs, just briefly introduce the Masters of which I'm coordinating. The Masters is a 2-year program. It's 16 units. And we actually have 4 foundation units, which everybody does at the beginning. The 4 foundation units are to get people up to speed, particularly those that may not have an IT background. And we study your typical subjects such as information systems, database systems, programming, and networking communication. Then in the second semester of the first year, in the Masters, we move into the core subjects, where we again study some of those subjects which are core to any degree in information systems, such as project management, software engineering, wireless, networking and IT security. Then after the students finish the first year, the first 8 units, then we move into a stage where they begin their capstone project. The capstone project is a unit that every student has to do, and we divide that it's a double subject. We run it over 2 semesters, so you do the first half in this first semester of your second year, and you complete the second half in the second semester of your second year. Then we have 5 electives which students can do. From the 5 electives, we have quite a number of units students can choose from, and we divide a lot of those up into specialisations. So students can either choose to do a software engineering specialisation, they can choose to do an analytics specialisation, or they can choose to do an architecture specialisation. Or a student can choose to do no specialisation in the master's degree and just do a generic master's degree, in which case you select all your electives from a range or whatever interests you. If you do choose to do a specialisation, every specialisation has 3 subjects, in which case of your 5 electives you just make sure you do those 3 subjects within your electives. And finally, we also have an advanced research topic subjects which students have to do and have to complete, and this introduces students to the more advanced research techniques which you would use to undertake any further research. I'd like to hand over now to Javed to talk about the VITS program.
Thank you, Paul. My name is Dr. Javed Ali Baloch, and I'm the coordinator for the bachelor's program. So at the bachelor's program in VIT, it runs over 3 years, and we have 24 units. And out of the 24 units, we have 13 core units, and we have 11 electives, and we have 2 specialization streams that the students can choose from. The streams are networking and application development. So it's up to the students. If you're interested in networking, then that you could choose that. If you're more into programming, you like Java, you like programming languages, your databases, then application development would be your stream. And in the second last and last semester, we normally have Project 1 and Project 2, which gives the students an ample opportunity to work in groups and to work on a project, carry out a literature review, and when they go to Project 2, they actually do some implementation, and they get a chance to present their work in a symposium at the end of the semester. So, and at VIT, we also provide internship opportunities for bachelor students who wish to have an internship, work with the industry, and that's been very fruitful. It's been very good for VIT. We've actually even had a group of students who've been offered a job once they are graduating. So those things, and apart from that, we have a good faculty, we have a good team, and we have one-on-one support, and they're always available for you to always available for you to communicate. You have your course coordinator, you have your unit facilitators and lecturers, and we also have counseling which can help the students who are having difficulties in progressing in their course. I'll now pass it on to Rahul, the registrar. He'll just brief us about his role, and if there's any questions you can ask later.
Okay, so I'm just mirroring what Paul and Javed has says, that we have a wide variety of courses and units available here in VIT, having the specialization in masters and specialization in BITS as well. So it will be up to the mark and up to the market demand as well. So that's, yeah. Oh.
So we have a question here from a member. So he just asked, what are the pricing structures for the bachelor's IT? Could you perhaps talk about the units as well?
Okay, pricing structure. We can ask Mamoon to get the answer of that.
Just step in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi everyone. I had to just jump in to answer your question. Thank you for asking the question. So I was going to cover that in the marketing event when we talk about the VIT scholarships and courses. For Bachelor of IT, our actual fees is $48,000, everyone. But currently we are offering 15% scholarships for our upcoming July and September intake. So what that means is generally the fees is $8,000 per semester, but for July intake each semester will be only $6,800, which is a great savings and a scholarship that we are offering. But just for the offshore, the fees is $7,200, that is with the 10% scholarships only. And further to that, if you be able to pay some fees more in advance, which means if you pay one semester fees in advance, you will get further 5% scholarships, and if you pay 2 semesters fees in altogether, you will get 10% scholarships in total. So which is a great the promotion that we are running. So if you like to get some more information, please contact our admissions department or marketing department. We will be able to assist you further with your inquiries. Okay. Any more questions regarding fees or scholarships for any students?
Yes, we do, just on the fees and scholarships. So questions come through from Monica. Yep. Is a paid internship available, or do you have any internship programs for any of BITS or MITS?
I would request Mr. Arun Patel to come and join and answer that question. That would be great. Arun, please.
Thank you, Mamoon. So in my briefing, I mentioned about internship program. Dr. Javed also mentioned about internship programs. So what we are having currently, we have a structured and systematic internship program with industry partners, industry stakeholders, and we don't ask students to pay. So these are means students do not need to pay for the internship, but if they get internship, students, it depends on organization. Most organization, if depends on affordability, they pay. So sometimes you get paid on internships, but students are also happy to do unpaid internships as well. It is more that industry exposure and industry experience students are looking forward and working through the industry projects. So there is possibility that paid or unpaid internships are available. Thank you.
Okay, we have another question, maybe for Paul.
Yes.
So could you perhaps explain the assessment process all the way from submission to how it gets assessed by trainers?
For the masters, for
masters level program. Yeah.
Okay. So in each subject that you undertake, most subjects you undertake, there will be 3 assignment submissions throughout the semester. We normally try and have an assessment submission due early in the semester, maybe week 4 or 5. And the reason for that is that we can get an early indication of how people are going. So that gives us some indicators of what's happening. We usually tend to have a second assignment submission in around about week 9 or 10. And there's normally a larger group submissions. We try and get people to work in groups in every subject, at least in one of the assessments per semester. Now, the reason we do that, of course, is that's what potential employers are after. Employers are after people who can work in teams. So we try and get people to work in groups, and we have a final group submission usually due in week 12. Now, all submissions are usually made via Turnitin, and when we submit, we check Turnitin similarity scores. These give us an indication of where students might be getting work from other places, or we can use it as an indication to give back to students to say you really need to do some more work on this. So we use Turnitin as our submission facility. Your assessor will or your lecturer will mark the work, and the work tends to be given back within 10 days of it being submitted. Normally the assignments in the Masters, the first 2 assignments are normally 10% each. We tend to have the larger assignment is the group assessment, which is due at the end of week 12. In 2 subjects we have, such as advanced research topics and the capstone project, we have ongoing assessments throughout the semester, and there's no exam. In just about all of the MIT subjects we have a final exam at the end, and these are arranged during the final examination week, or the final examination 2-week period. So all students will come and sit the exam, and again the exams are marked by initially by your lecturer, and usually moderated by somebody different, so we can keep an eye on the grades.
So we've got a question here. Thanks everyone for waiting. Question just on credit transfers. Is it possible to get credit transfers in the Masters and Bachelor's level programs?
Yes, it is. So, look, I can answer in general only for the Bachelor's, but specifically for the Master's unit, for the Master's course, you can get credit transfers. A credit transfer can be given if you've done an equivalent or an equivalent level type subject somewhere else. There is RPL for somebody coming in new to the Masters. If they've done a cognate degree or a degree in IT or IS at the undergraduate level, they can possibly get up to 4 RPL, and then they can get further credit transfers for equivalent master's units they've done somewhere else. For the bachelor's degree, again, students can get RPL based on a diploma or an advanced diploma if they've previously done those, or they could possibly get credit transfer for equivalent subjects they've done in a different bachelor's degree. Would you like to elaborate on the bachelor's?
Yeah, in the bachelor's, for the diploma and the advanced diploma, for the diploma they can get up to 6 credits, and for advanced diploma it goes up to 8. And if they have studied a bachelor's course elsewhere, they can also get credits for that. If it's an IT, it could be for a relevant unit, and if it's another place, they could get electives as well.
Yeah, so in the Masters you can get up to 6 credit transfers and RPLs. That's our maximum limit.
Okay.
Yep.
Another question here. What specialisations are offered in the BITS and MITS levels programs? Could you explain those, please?
Would you like to start with the BITS?
Yeah, in the bachelor's programs we have 2 specializations. We have networking and we have application development. The networking stream focuses on networks, wireless networks, virtualization, servers, whereas if you go for the application development, it's more focused on programming skills, system design, analysis. Currently we're offering these 2 streams for bachelor's, and for master's I'd ask Paul to continue.
Yes, so in the master's degree we actually have 3 specializations. We have a software engineering specialization where we study software quality, change management, testing. We also look at developing enterprise systems, and we have an enterprise resource planning subject as well. In the analytics specialization, we have intelligent systems for analytics, we have business analytics, and we also have a big data subject. Whereas in the architecture specialization, we've got business process modeling, we have enterprise application integration, and also enterprise and IT solutions architecture. As well as the specializations, we have a number of other subjects which don't belong to a specialization, and they make up the remaining electives you would study.
Okay. Thanks for that. Another question's come through. What IELTS score score, or what should I present when enrolling into my HE course? Do I get as general admission or academic enrollment? What scores do I need?
It's they have to pass academic one, and with the score of overall 6.5 for masters, and for bachelors it's overall 6.
Great. So that's all the questions we have for now. So if you guys could perhaps talk about the part-time or full-time study load for students itself. I know we briefly touched on that. So if you could touch on part-time, full-time study load as well as the length of study per semester.
Yeah. Okay, I can begin that with the master's degree, and I think it's similar with the bachelor's degree. Every semester goes for currently 13 weeks. So we have 12 weeks of lectures and tutorials and assignments and study, and then in the 13th week we use that for revision, and that gets us set up to do the exam period. For the master's degree, the master's is a 2-year degree, full-time 2 years, and you study 4 subjects per semester, or 4 units per semester. A part-time load would be about half of that. So a part-time load could be 2 subjects per semester, but of course if you go part-time or do a part-time load, you would then extend the length of your study time. And for the bachelor's?
Yeah, for the bachelor's is over a period of 3 years, and in each semester as a bachelor student full-time you'd be studying 4 units, which is the normal load that you would be undertaking. And at VIT we also have summer semester for those who want to speed up their degree, or if they want to catch up, or if their visa is expiring, they can also fast track it by using the summer option that is available. And there can be a part-time load, or you could underload your units, but then that again it's depends upon your performance, and it depends upon various aspects which the course coordinator would discuss with you while you progress throughout your course.
We have another question here, so as a follow-up question for Christine. Given the situation with COVID-19, will there be a blended learning approach moving forward for online and face-to-face sessions, i.e. recorded lectures being available?
Yep.
Yeah, that was very relevant, good question. Definitely yes. We have already prepared for blended approach, and our executive dean mentioned that in his briefing also. All our lectures will be recorded from now onwards, and they will be available for students to access from anywhere and any time, definitely. However, given the situation, depends on the restrictions, etc. We are aiming students to come on campus and do some engaged activities, teaching learning related activities, face-to-face activities, provided the restrictions are released and so on, so that the students will have the sort of flipped but not fully flipped blended approach, and they can learn, they can prepare themselves, and they can come to the sessions with good preparation and utilize their time for better learning by asking questions and doing some activities. So definitely yes, we are prepared for that, and approach will be like this. And we have also decided to go for multi-campus mode delivery as well, because we have Sydney campus and we are planning to start our teaching on other campuses as well. So that approach will be uniform approach for all our campuses. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for that, Christine. Are there any other final thoughts from either of you, Paul, Javed, Rahul? There are no other questions, so any other final thoughts on the programs themselves before we wrap up?
Look, I'd just like to add that we have a very progressive program. It's as good as any other program I have seen anywhere else. So if anybody is thinking about doing a master's degree, I would encourage to at least come to VIT and at least check out our program. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
I'd like to add on to that as well. In terms of the student experience at VIT, as we have small classrooms and the lecturers, most of them are on campus, so they are easily accessible, and you can easily contact your lecturer, you can have a counseling session, you can have consultation with them. So they're more accessible than a big lecture in a university with 400 students. We have smaller classes, which helps a lot.
Yeah. So in VIT we are having similar facilities and staff, and we are pretty in line with the course curriculum with the other private providers and with the university as well. So we are in line with the private providers and the other university in terms of facilities, course curriculum and the staff. Yeah. Thank you.
My name is Gabriel. Right now I'm studying commercial cookery in VIT, and I'm from Brazil.
My name is Alejandro Lopez. I was born in Venezuela, South America. My background is Spanish, and I'm doing Certificate 3 in Commercial Cookery on VIT.
Mi nombre es David Estrella. Yo soy de Colombia. Vivo aquí hace 4 años.
I'm Vivian. I'm from Colombia, and I study in VIT Patisserie.
The most that I like about VIT is the facilities. It's very convenient. It's on CBD. It's a very big building that you have, and the classrooms are big. The people is very welcoming. I felt very comfortable there.
I like most in VIT all the staff and the teachers. I think the environment is very nice for the classes. If you are studying commercial cookery, it's very important. The school provides all the tools necessary for the course.
I really like VIT because it's a really good environment. So the people is really friendly. They always are there to help.
Lo que más me gusta son las clases prácticas y los profesores son muy buenos.
Well, I learned a lot of things. But the most important for me is because I get a lot of knowledge in kitchen industry, like how to make a cake, how to decorate a cake, use the different materials.
I would recommend the school for other students, absolutely, because now I learn how the method works here, and the school is ready to provide the necessary tools for the students.
Claro que sí, recomendaría VIT porque es una escuela genial. La gente siempre está para ayudarte, son muy amigables, siempre hay una sonrisa en la cara. Te encuentras con gente de todas partes del mundo, de Japón, de Perú, bastantes latinos, so es chévere.
I would recommend VIT for sure. It's a big school, very good facilities, and people's very welcoming. They will be impressed of what you guys have.
Hi everybody, my name's Grant Guy. I'm the VET coordinator at VIT, and VET stands for Vocational Education and Training. I know it's listed as VET coordinator, a lot of people don't know what it stands for. So our VET department is vocational education. We offer training to help people with work skills in that area. And also I'd like to introduce from our English department, Mr. Damien Gauci.
Thanks, Grant. My name is Damien Gauci. I'm the academic manager of the ELICOS program. Just like Grant, I better tell you what the abbreviation is. ELICOS is English Language Intensive Courses for Overseas Students. So we have a general English program here from elementary to upper intermediate, and we also run an EAP program, which is English for academic purposes.
So in our VET department, apart from English, we have a range of hospitality courses. We have in cookery, we have Certificate 3 in cookery and patisserie. So in those courses, really that is learning the basic skills of cookery and patisserie that you need to actually practically apply in a real workplace. Then you move up into the Certificate 4 level, where we get more into the supervisory skills of working in hospitality operation. And then we have diploma, advanced diploma, where you get into looking at the components of actually running a hospitality operation, managing a restaurant or a cafe, and those type of things. So we have a stream, in, as I said, in cookery and also in patisserie, looking at pastries. We also have Diploma of IT Networking, so a lot of our students will do the Diploma of IT Networking leading up to go into the Bachelor course at the end of their time in Diploma. Yeah, that's the courses that we offer in VET. And
yeah, I'll let you know a bit about ELICOS as well. So as I said, ELICOS is English language intensive courses for overseas students. So many students coming to Australia might not have the language skills they need to enter the program they want. So for instance, if you want to move into higher education, many courses require an IELTS band score of 6.5. For vocational education and training, the score is a bit lower, usually about 5.5, or at an upper intermediate level of English. So as I said, we have a range of courses at VIT and ELICOS. We've got a general English program. General English runs from elementary all the way up to upper intermediate. And once students finish upper intermediate, they can move on to do vocational education and training, which was what Grant was just talking about. We also have an EAP course. This is more suited for students who are looking into moving into higher education, perhaps a bachelor degree or a master's degree, postgraduate studies or undergraduate studies. And usually when they complete that course, they should have an IELTS band score of about 6.5, which gets them ready for higher education courses. So they learn how to write, you will learn how to write essays, you'll learn how to give presentations, just the academic skills that you need to function in an Australian tertiary institution. Yeah.
Do we have any questions
We do.
on any of this?
So we've got a couple of questions. So how many days a week is mandatory for classes? This is related to ELICOS and English language.
Yeah. It's 20 hours per week, 20 hours. So it depends on our timetable. At the moment, our courses are running from Mondays to Thursdays. So we start classes at 9 and we finish about 2:30. We have a few breaks in between. So it's 20 contact hours per week from Monday to Thursday.
Okay, great. Thanks for that. Can you please elaborate a little bit more on the commercial cookery and the credits that can be available? Is there any workplace experience that can be used in this case, or no?
You can. We really need to look at what the experience that you've had. Case by case, really, we look at it. So we have a process called recognition of prior learning, where we look at perhaps what you've done in the past. You may have done other studies elsewhere, or you may have workplace experience, which can result in sometimes reducing the timeline or taking away some of the activities or practical components of the course. Really, that's done case by case. So that's a matter of the student coming and having a discussion with the coordinator during enrolment to determine that.
Could you elaborate a little bit more on the practical classes? How much time is spent in the kitchen and how many people are there in the kitchen at any given time for their practicals?
That's a good question because it's tricky times at the moment. In general, the kitchens are based on the size of the kitchen. So we have in our facility, we have a handful of different size training kitchens. So depending on which kitchen you are timetabled into, that determines the number of students that will be in there. So we have a large kitchen. Our largest kitchen holds around 18 students maximum. So in general, our students will probably normally about 12 would be about the average number of students in practical with a trainer in one kitchen at a time.
Could you talk about the intakes? When's our next intake and when is it open? When does it close? Could you elaborate a bit more on that?
Is that for VET or for English? Because it's a bit different between the two.
For both, please. Yeah.
So the English courses have a weekly intake, so they can pretty much start any time into an English course. Our VET courses have an intake. We have 8 intakes per year. Is that right? Yep, just getting the nod from our marketing guru at the back there. So we have 8 intakes per year. So it's roughly every 5 weeks during our academic year into the hospitality or diploma IT.
Yeah.
And just with ELICOS, just to add on that, yeah, as Grant said, we have a weekly intake, so you can start the course at any time. It's a 10-week program, each level. Okay, so if you're starting at elementary, 10 weeks of elementary, to get all the way up to upper end, you need about 40 weeks. But you can start the course at any time. And at the moment, we're delivering also online as well, digitally. So VIT is offering a lot of flexible learning approaches for students to suit your needs. So yeah, it's a 10-week program per level. Many students coming in the course might start at intermediate. That would mean you need 20 weeks of English to move into one of the VET courses that Grant highlighted just a bit earlier.
Okay. Another question's come through just on what employability or what opportunities are available once they finish their degree for both patisserie perhaps, and could you explain the English language, the pathways that it can lead to? Yep.
Well, as part of the course here, we actually do help the students to find, because part of the course they have to do some practical experience in a real restaurant. So we help the students get placed. They have to do a certain number of hours of real industry experience towards the end of their course. So we do help them with that. So quite often they'll end up at the end of the course finding actual permanent employment with an employer who they've impressed while they were doing their kind of study time with that employer. So I mean, Australia there's a lot of hospitality. Australia is well renowned for its restaurants, and there's a lot of work in hospitality for both patisserie and commercial cookery, qualified cooks and patisserie chefs.
And with ELICOS, as I mentioned before, to move into higher ed, you'll need to finish an EAP course. Usually, to enter the course, you need about an IELTS band score of 5.5. 5.5, which is an upper intermediate level. So if you've got an upper intermediate level of English, you can move straight into the EAP program. And on completion, you should have an IELTS band of 6.5. And that can lead you into higher education. So you can move into do any of VIT's higher education courses. If you're interested in vocational education and training or one of our diploma courses, you only need to finish at the level of upper intermediate, which is about an IELTS band score of 5.5. So we get students coming in maybe as a pre-int student or an intermediate student. So as I said, if you want to move into vocational education and training, if you're entering at about an intermediate level, you need about 20 weeks of English. But the advantage is that you can start at any time because we have weekly intakes.
Great. Any final thoughts on the programs themselves before we move on? Could you perhaps, any closing thoughts before we move on from both of you?
Well, we have a lot of support. We're doing a lot of work at the moment with towards online delivery, and we have a lot of online resources for both the VET courses and ELICOS. I'll let Damon can talk about ELICOS in a moment. But we have put together a lot of videos for our students. So there's a lot of support videos. At the moment, we're filming the classes and putting recordings of the videos up for the students to review later on. As part of their enrolment, they'll receive a lot of learning resources, which is in our learning management system, which are provided to the students to enable them to do self-study and to keep on top of things during their course. I also wanted to highlight our teachers and trainers, particularly in the VET sector, because we have chosen our trainers carefully from industry. So, for example, in cookery, all of our cookery trainers have been chefs. Our patisserie trainers have been pastry chefs. And in the high levels, we have our trainers who've managed restaurants, had their own restaurant. They know a lot about what they're talking about, which is very important to VIT, that what's coming across to our students is reflecting real life, really what's going on in the world of hospitality at the moment. So we're very proud of our teachers and our training staff in that sector.
And with ELICOS, Grant was mentioning, we have a lot of online support videos, free learning materials, and as I said before, we're now delivering digitally as well. So you can do your ELICOS component in the comfort of your own home, and then once you finish your course, you can come in and do one of the higher education or one of the VET courses at VIT. The course that we're running, our General English program, all the assessments are done online. Students will have access to tons of resources, and all of our lessons are recorded. Students can go back and listen again. If you couldn't make it to class, you could always revisit what was taught on the day. We've got a really great program running, which is really convenient for students studying at home, or students who are learning remotely, or perhaps even far away from us here in Melbourne. So we've got a lot of opportunities for students who want to learn digitally and online. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So there's no more questions, Jason, at the moment. So coming up next is a video of how VIT is enabling digital learning to enhance our student experience.
Hi, my name is Jason Amofsky, one of the digital learning designers here at VIT, to discuss with you VIT's Engaged Learning Platform.
I'm Professor Arun Patil, currently Dean, Engagement and Partnerships at Victorian Institute of Technology, and also Academic Dean for Melbourne campus. So at VIT, even before COVID-19 crisis started, we initiated a project called Engaged Learning and Teaching Digital Delivery. We are very much comfortable that in this project, students are gaining same experience as they used to get in face-to-face mode.
VIT has strengthened its online learning presence by offering new ways your teaching team can engage with you and your classmates. VIT's personal online learning portal is intuitive and easy to navigate and will be the central learning hub for your studies. If you are new to online study, it won't take you long to get your confidence up. Just like online banking and shopping, you'll find online learning tools quickly become second nature. At VIT, we offer a range of products for our students to engage with their peers as well as their teachers. We use Moodle as our online learning platform, where students can engage with their online learning as well as their peers to submit assessments and engage in theory tasks. We also do online learning activities using live lectures, where students can put into practice some case studies and scenario-based practices.
And we had a less than or equal to 30 millisecond of jitter and 1% of packet loss. Yeah? So these are the voice traffic requirement we said.
It should go only through this, right? The default path should always be through this, because if you go through this path, kind of cross two ASPs.
So you choose 20, 23, 26 or 29.
For someone who likes outdoor sports, job 1 is correct.
Is the TCT divided by the CT. In other words, the cycle time, CT is the cycle time efficiency.
And you can try to solve such data flow diagrams on your own, and if you have problems, you can let me know.
So you have taken those two fields. So let's say you have taken the username and password from the form, from the user.
Yeah, now I'm going to compare both the string variable. What are all the string variable, guys?
A and B. We are making sure that students are provided every help in all possible ways as and when required. Students are nurtured with this rich online digital delivery experience, and we will continue providing them all sort of support.
All the online engagement tools that we looked at here today will help you succeed with your studies. We hope that you enjoy your studies here at VIT.
Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon around the globe, those who have joined our first ever Virtual Open Day at VIT. Thank you for joining. My name is Abdul Mamoon, General Manager Marketing. Today, I'll talk about our courses and the approach that we have taken for COVID-19 during this pandemic. I'll talk about the course for VIT's vocational courses, higher education courses, fees, and scholarships that are available for our upcoming intake. Guys, thank you again. And for those who have asked a lot of questions, because of the overwhelming response, we could not take all the questions of yours, but we're trying our best to get back to you with your questionnaires. But we continue to ask the questions in our the comment box. So first of all, VIT during this pandemic, we are the first or one of the institute started our virtual the classes or the open so online classes. And after that, we have taken a lot of feedback from our students about our online learning, and we have got really good response on that. And during this pandemic, a lot of students, those who have lost their job or the parents have lost their job or business under different situation, we have come up with funding about $1 million to support our students, to help them out throughout this journey, to reduce their fees and offer scholarships. And we are, as a private institute, I would believe this much of amount we have contributed for our students to retain them and help them and encourage them to continue their studies at VIT. And VIT is also raising funds targeting $250,000 to support those who are in extreme hardship. Students those who cannot pay the rent or cannot buy groceries or need to buy or do some medical treatment. VIT is helping them out by sourcing funds from agencies, communities, friends, and staffs at VIT. And we are doing great. And those who have supported, thank you very much for supporting VIT students during this pandemic. Now, besides that, during this pandemic, we have seen our welfare counselor, more than ever, they're busier than any other time, contacting all our students to see how they are going. So that's a response that we are giving for our students. We are looking after our students to think about their welfare and health and well-being. And after that, we're also helping students to find their jobs. We are uploading the jobs on our LMS and helping students to apply for those who have lost their jobs. Okay. During this pandemic, VIT is also offered free meal in Melbourne and Sydney locations, so that if students in need, they can go to our related the reference restaurants to source their meal. During this pandemic, we also come up with a lot of scholarships for our upcoming intakes that are coming from July and as well as for September. We are offering vocational courses, guys. I think most of you know we are offering our hospitality courses over 20 years in Melbourne. For our most popular course, hospitality, we are offering package Set 3, Set 4, and Diploma Hospitality Commercial Cookery, as well as patisserie. And we have up to advanced diploma level of our hospitality courses that we offer. For our courses, for our upcoming intake, for June intake, we are offering 10% scholarships, which means the fees, actually that is $15,000 package course. Now that is only $13,500. Okay, so what that means is if you pay, and then on the top of that, you get some additional scholarships. If you pay one-term fees in advance, you get 5% more. And if you pay one semester fees in advance, you'll get 10% fees scholarships on top, which is a great news, guys. So for hospitality, we're offering 10% scholarships and up to 20% if you pay fees in advance. So that's for our VIT hospitality courses that we offer. For our higher education, as you know, VIT is very, very popular in terms of our IT course that we offer. For Bachelor of IT, we have two specializations. One is application development, another one is networking. For our Bachelor of IT, we are also offering 15% scholarships, and that is for the entire course, not for the only first semester, guys. It is for the entire course. The 15% scholarship is applicable for our July and as well as for September intake. So, and for masters, we have 3 specializations: software engineering, analytics, and architecture.
For our master's course as well, we have scholarships up to 15%. And for our higher education, if you pay 1 semester fees in advance, we'll give you 5% fees scholarships. And if you pay 2 semester fees in advance, you get up to 10%. So overall, you get up to 25% scholarships, guys. That is for the July and upcoming September intake. Nevertheless, I want to also talk about a few more things about the VITs, that education that we are offering. We are not only competitive, we also deliver quality training. And that we have seen over that period of time. We're getting the students' feedback from the students. We have seen the QUILT rating. We have seen the QUILT rating states that we are better than some of the public universities in Australia. So we are not only the competitive fees provider, we are also giving quality training for our students. So I would like to request you, before you choose, talk to your agency, our authorized agency, and maybe your friends or relatives, maybe studying at VIT, please speak to them. Find out more about our VIT courses, how we offer. And I would like to also talk about those who cannot join this virtual open day. Of course, we will have that recorded session. You can always access. And I would like to encourage you to get some more information if you have in relation to fees, scholarships, RPLs, entry requirements. Please drop an email at enroll@vit.edu or .au, or you can also send an email to our admissions email, admissions ends with s @vit.edu.au. Before I end, I will might have some questions to answer, so I'll go back to yes, Jason,
so
please.
A few questions, so one at a time. So we've got one here. What is the price needed to pay for confirmation of enrollment? Could you perhaps elaborate a little bit more on confirmation of enrollment, that process and its pricing?
Okay, sure. So if you talk about the vocational courses that we offer for onshore, that we take $1,000 fees plus $200 enrollment fees, guys. So which is very, very competitive. For higher education, we have Bachelor of IT. If you take the Bachelor of IT, our fees is $6,800 after the scholarship, so you need to pay 50% of that fees of $6,800. And for Masters of IT, those who will do 16 subject, which is from the non-IT background students, so they will need to pay after the scholarship of 15%, $4,400. So that is for the 16 subjects. And those who are doing 12 subjects, which is cognate IT background students, they will need to pay only $3,200 for the initial fee to get the COE.
Okay. Another question is, can I join in September for intake? Could you elaborate for HE programs and also for VET and ELICOS?
Certainly you can. But those who are doing higher education course and recently came to Australia during March intake, guys, we will need to look at when your 6-month period will end. However, we can always be flexible to offer you course even after 9th of September if you require the release to get your enroll at VIT. And that's same applicable for vocational students. So we need to look at your the restriction. If you have the 6-month period to switch provider, you can, or those who are here on the visit visa or tourist visa, they don't have restriction on that. You can simply apply and get clarified on that one. So regardless of that, please drop an email and get it clarified so that we can assist you with our option for you.
Another question, are there any phone line contacts? And if so, what are they? Where are they available?
In Melbourne, our head office, you can call our 1300 number to get access, and also our team can connect you with our marketing team to discuss about if you have any queries on that.
Okay, great. While we wait for some more questions, could you perhaps talk a little bit more about is scholarships available for Sydney as well as Melbourne? Could you perhaps talk a little bit more about Sydney?
Certainly, it's a good question.
It is available both the campus, Melbourne and Sydney, guys. So the 15% scholarships, higher education, we have both in Melbourne and Sydney. And I'll just also talk about the scholarship, how it works. So for VIT, the scholarship that we are giving for our students for our higher education course, that's 15% scholarships available for the entire course. So if you meet our entry requirements for our scholarships, you will meet the scholarship requirements. But your subsequent fees will remain as a full fees. However, you need to maintain at least 50% course progress to be eligible for your subsequent semester course fees to get that scholarship 15%. So what that means is, once you get the enrollment at VIT for the first semester, we'll apply that 15% for the first semester, and the subsequent semester fees you will get once you pass at least 50% of the course progress from your first semester. So, and again, so that is applicable for Melbourne and as well as for Sydney locations.
Slightly different. Could you elaborate on that?
Sure. It is exactly the same what we offer in Melbourne. So it's our head office, but the campus is running and is scheduled at the same time how we are operating in Melbourne. Our course design exactly the same for Melbourne and Sydney. Our course coordinator but different. However, the course structure is exactly the same what we have in Melbourne, and that will be delivered in Sydney as well.
So in terms of processing applications, how long does it take between me applying as a potential student and getting enrolled? What's that process like?
Very good question. Whoever asked that question, wonderful question. So it takes generally 2 working days. In some cases we have done that in 24 hours. However, you need to submit all your relevant documentation so that we can assess and process your application promptly. So what that means is you need to put your application form completed, which is available on our website under download section, and then complete the application form along and submit along with your passport, your academic documents, the previous academic documents, and any course progression if you have from the recent academics, colleges that you've been studying, and submit that along with your RPL if you want to request for RPL. So once you submit all the relevant information, generally we take 24 to 48 hours maximum within the working days that we are working.
Questions come through just on the USI. Could you talk about that? What it is, how can students get access to it before studying?
Okay, unique student identification, USI. So that means is only vocational students will need to do that. So then we have a link. Once you come to VIT and enroll on the orientation day, we will be sending you the link to register that. So that will keep your record of your study history in Australia. So what that means is whatever the course you have accomplished, so USI, unique identification, will give you record of the previous studies that you have completed. So let's say you have finished your the VIT Diploma of IT course at VIT. Once you finish that course and you switch to the other provider and submit that, so that another provider will be able to access to see what qualification you have previously finished. So once you finish your course at VIT, we upload your completions at our the department website, and they record your completions on USI portal. So that is important only for the vocational students, those who will be doing Set 3, Set 4 diploma, advanced diploma courses in Australia.
I know you briefly touched on the fees themselves and what VIT is doing to help students through COVID-19, this crisis we're experiencing. Questions come through from Christine asking, if you have an unstable job and are struggling to pay the fees, could you elaborate again on what's available and what VIT is doing for?
Okay, so I'm getting a lot of questions. I'm very happy about that. So it's a good question. I have a lot to say. So as I said, look, during this pandemic, we've been very, very supportive for our international students. Those who are not able to pay, I've seen the students came for the March intake. And I think we are the only private institute that we allowed our students to continue their course without doing any cancellation. They're still doing their assessment, they're still joining our classes, they're continuing their course, and we're helping them to postpone their fees for the subsequent intake or the semester to pay their fees in installments. We're also offering the scholarships that the $1 million budget we have given for the students or taken. So the students can get that or source that by applying through our online for our current students. And of course, for the future students, upcoming students, we are offering up to 25% higher education course scholarships, for VET up to 20% scholarships. So we are flexible and lenient in that extent. If students can demonstrate their situation, why they're in this situation and what they can do to overcome that situation, we can certainly extend their fees and support them to be flexible with their tuition fees to pay.
Another question that's similar, again relating to fees, is can I pay my fees during exams, or do I have to pay them at the beginning? I know you briefly touched on the pay structure themselves and the timings, but could we address that?
Look, it all depends on how much fees you have paid for your current semester. As I said, if you are a good student, if you have a good progress, that's something we look at. We also look at how much fees or the percentage of the fees that you have paid for the semester, depending on all that. And if you request to pay the fees on the later date, if you submit your supporting documents to support your statement, then we'll be looking into that and we'll be able to help you to pay your fees during your exams as well.
Okay, thanks for that. No other questions in the chat at the moment. So if there are, please post. I'll put a message.
Sure.
Are there any closing thoughts that you have before we fully close? Any other things that you'd like to discuss?
Look, I would like to request you to have a look at the videos or the testimonies that we have on our website. And of course, please, as I said, please discuss with your friends who are studying at VIT. I've seen the students who are studying at VIT, they're very satisfied. Students, why they're satisfied, the most important thing I hear from the students is because they can engage with the lecturers and the teachers and they can ask questions and they know each other. And the support services that we are giving for our students. So that is what is most important thing, what they cannot access or see or engage any other institutes they come from or coming to VIT. So that is very, very important. It's not about the fees that you have to look at always. You have to look at the fees is competitive. Yes, that's true. But at the same time, the way we support our students, that is the most important thing. We have many staffs who have been working here many years. So we have the industry experience. We know how to deal with our students and how to support. So over the last 20 years, that's what we have learned. That's what you're giving for our international students. No problem.
One other question Christine has asked. We haven't heard much about Sydney. Could we perhaps talk more about that campus life and what is offered on campus? So we're going to ask Sid Nair, our academic dean, to...
I'll ask the Sid Nair, executive dean, to answer to that.
I'm quite sure Mahmood can answer that question, but he decided to put me on the spot anyway.
Yeah.
The Sydney campus offers the same courses in the higher education as Melbourne, the MITS and the VITS program. The campus is actually on 2 floors on 33 Kent. It's actually a very nice campus, modern campus with great facilities. You should check it out. It's right in the middle of the city, very close to walking to all the shops and restaurants as such. But the student life is very much brilliant, exuberant. The students are actually coming in on a very regular basis. The academics are all present every day, and they're actually engaging and meeting students on a daily basis. So regardless where you choose, whether it's Sydney or Melbourne, both campuses have a vibrant environment, and that's what I think you actually need to check it out. But it all depends on your preference, where you want to be, Melbourne or Sydney.
Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, whoever joined. Again, from VIT for joining this Virtual Open Day. We will continue to do this Virtual Open Day, and this is our first time ever we are doing that, and we are very happy and glad to see the number of participants that have joined today. So thank you again, and wish you all the best. Stay safe.